So once we understand that carbs and fats are not bad, we just need to understand the amounts that we eat them and how much protein we should eat on any given day based off of where we are and where we want to be. I'm specifically going to be talking about fat loss through this process. Then we want to understand our TDEE, so our total daily energy expenditure, which you might just understand as calories burned.
Welcome to the Hidden Summit podcast. My name is Kevin Valance and I will be your host. On this podcast, we're going to talk about fitness, nutrition, lifestyle, and everything in between. If you find anything valuable in this episode, the only thing I'm ever going to ask you to do is subscribe so you can keep coming back and elevate your life to become better every single day.
All right, welcome back everybody. Hope you're having a great day. My name is Kevin, and today I want to shift gears for a moment. We'll come back to our other series, but I want to go over eating more fat to lose more fat. And if you're new to this game, it's going to sound ridiculous that you can eat fat and lose fat. So let's understand very quickly what fat as a macromolecule is. Dietary fat is food, it's within food, and we use that as energy in the body, right? Body fat is not the same thing. And I know whoever invented these words and how we understand them makes it super confusing. But the first thing I want you to know is that the body fat that your body adds on over time from lack of proper nutrition and lack of exercise is not the same thing as the dietary fat that we're going to eat. So like olive oil, seeds, nuts, avocado, egg yolks, fat from foods like meat, and then you go into fats that you would have occasionally, like everything that you find that's in a processed food, like cakes, Oreos, cookies, ice cream, things like that. There is a scale, and I did a video which I'll link below on understanding when to eat the always fats, the sometimes fats, and the occasional fats. But I want to talk you through how I started eating more fat this year, and I'm down 11, nearly 12 pounds by eating food that is primarily fat every single day. Now, I want you to understand that carbs and fats and protein all serve a purpose, right? Protein is going to help everything from our skeletal muscle system grow stronger after we break it down, cognitive function, eyesight, our immune health, our gut function. The amino acids in proteins are going to be the building blocks for life and longevity, and the more we can put on muscle, the more functional we'll be for a longer period of time. Carbs are going to be more of a fast digesting energy, something that if we have a lot of high intensity work ahead of us, or we are going to be out and about, carbs are going to be utilized. It's our body's preferred source of energy, and they're not bad either. Fats, on the other hand, get a bad reputation, similar to carbs. You could find an argument for either on the internet. But when understood and consumed correctly, you'll be able to yield results in a positive fashion to whatever your goals are. And that's what I want to go over today. I want to go over how I've chosen to eat more fat on most days, and then from that, seeing great results in losing weight, primarily body fat, over the last 12 weeks. So when we talk about carb cycling, what we're doing is having carbs occasionally in higher amounts, meaning that the remainder of the time that we eat, we're going to focus on fats, which is the case that I went through and I'm doing right now. I really enjoy carb cycling, and I want to break that down for you. You may be interested in this, you may not be interested in this. You may be able to see these notes. I will do my best to explain everything so you understand it and make it as simple as possible, because one, I'm not that smart, and two, if I can do it, then you can do it, because I like things to be easy and I want this to be super easy for you as well. So we understand carbs are used as a preferred energy source of the body. Fats also not body fat, dietary fat, are used as energy. So carbs versus fats are energy. I liked what I've found out when eating this way over the last several weeks, because I was able to have more sustained energy. I didn't have these big energy spikes and these big energy crashes. I've been able to put myself in a position to see sustainable energy cognitively and physically. My body has adapted over a period of time. So when we talk about protein, which is the third macro molecule, I want you to understand that there is a sufficient amount of protein that you need to eat to benefit yourself functionally through the day-to-day, and then through life. So when it comes to protein, how much protein do we need? Protein, we want to aim to achieve 1 gram of protein per pound of our goal body weight every single day. Now, your doctor will recommend that it can be less than a gram, 0.75, 0.5, 0.4, right? And that is literally scientifically proven, so you're able to live. Not to see positive change, but to survive. So we round up, and it's common knowledge. I guess I could throw that out there. It's a very loose term, and I might get some shit for it. But anywhere between 0.8 and 1.2 grams of protein per pound of your goal body weight is a good place to be, because we're eating protein to make changes towards that direction or sustain that place that we are at this current time. So I meet you in the middle, and I'll say 1 gram of protein. Protein, meat, fish, poultry, non-fat dairy, and supplementation, all great sources of protein. If you're on the vegan side of things, tofu, seitan, things like that are going to have a good source of protein as well, which means that it has a full or close to full amino acid profile. So it's going to help for muscle growth as well as all those other things I mentioned earlier. Okay, so once we understand that carbs and fats are not bad, we just need to understand the amounts that we eat them and how much protein we should eat on any given day based off of where we are and where we want to be. I'm specifically going to be talking about fat loss through this process. Then we want to understand our TDEE, so our total daily energy expenditure, which you might just understand as calories burned. Okay, technically it's kcal. Calories burned. Now, this is burned at rest, burned through the food that we eat, and burned through activity. You will need to figure out where your TDEE is to have a great understanding of where to start on this carb cycling process to use fats to benefit your life, to burn more fat and lose weight in this health journey. Okay, once we understand what our total calories burned are throughout the day, and you can go find a calculator, I will link one below, or if you wear a Whoop, which I just took mine off, or an Apple Watch or a Garmin or a Polar Watch, and you wear it all day long, it should give you a report on an average assumed amount, very inaccurate but consistently inaccurate amount of calories burned throughout the course of your day. Once you know how many calories you're burning, well, now we can understand how many calories we need to eat. Calories are energy in or energy out. So what are we consuming is the energy we're taking in, and calories out is the amount of energy that we're burning throughout the course of the day. So if you're with me so far, I want to keep it super simple and super short for you today. So if you have any questions, you can always email me at Cavan, C-A-V-A-N, at hiddensummitgroup.com, or just shoot me a DM on Instagram at CAVANTV_. So next thing we need to know is that we're going to have high and low carb days, meaning some days we're going to eat more carbs and less fats, and other days we're going to eat more fats and less carbs. This is the cycling, or in and out of the amount of carbs that we eat. Okay, so now that we understand carbs and fats, we understand how much protein we're supposed to eat, we understand how many calories we burn throughout the course of the day, we understand that we're going to have 2 different days, 1 high carb day, 1 low carb day. Now we need to understand how much food we're actually going to eat on these given days. So I'll use my information, which I will work out with you on a calculator because it's early and I'm not great at math. So let's just say that I'll go into my Whoop app, right? So if I open up my Whoop app, not sponsored by them, just want to let you know that you can find out this information. So you can go to average calorie burn over the last 6 months. For me, is roughly 2,512 calories. So we'll just 2,512 as our TDEE. Okay, so we want to find out two different numbers here, the low carb day and the high carb day. So on the low carb day, which I'll start over here, we're going to take 25/12. We're going to multiply that by we're going to multiply that by 0.75, so 25%. So this is 1884. That's how many calories I'm going to eat on my low carb day. And over here, we're going to multiply it by 10%. So times 0.9, 25/12 times 0.9 is 2261. Okay. Now that we have the total amount of calories we're going to eat on each day, we're going to take our carbohydrates. Okay. Our carbohydrates are going to be 50% of the total calories on this day. So 2261 divided by 2 is 1131. So calories and carbohydrates. If we divide that by 4, that's 282 grams of carbohydrates. Okay, now on this day, 1884 divided by 10%, right? Not 50%, but 10% on the low carb days. So times 0.1, 1884 times 0.1 is 188. Divided by 4 is 47 grams of carbohydrates. Now we want to put in our protein. For me, 200 grams of protein is what I aim to get. So it's 200 divided by 4, so 200 grams times 4 is 800. And the 200 grams times 4 is 800 for each day. Now we can add up what we have. So we have 800 plus 1131 on the high carb day is 1931. And then we have 47 plus 800 is 847 calories for each day. Now we want to find out the fat, which is the remaining amount here. So we take the first number and we minus the new number. So 2261 minus 1931 is 330 calories divided by 9 is 37 grams of fat. And then over here we have 1884 minus 847 divided, which is 1037 divided by 9, which is 115 grams of fat. So if we're looking at this, we have on the high carb day, we're going to have 200 protein, we're going to have 282 carb, and we're going to have 37 fat. And over here in the low carb day, we're going to have 200 protein, we're going to have 47 carb, and we're going to have 115 grams of fat. Now, these numbers, when you multiply them by the amount of calories that each is worth, will equal 2261 and 1884. It's a lot of math, and I'll detail what you do below in the comments, but the idea is that we want to understand where we are. Now we go and track. So prepping the food that you need to eat, you're going to eat primarily fats and protein on the low carb day. You're going to eat primarily carbs and protein on the high carb day. And what we need to understand is that when we go to do this, we're going to have one high carb day followed by 3 high fat days. And then that just repeats itself. And you can start on the 3 fat days. I don't fucking care. It's just about getting in 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 3 and 1 and 3. And whatever days those land on, that's what you're going to do when it comes to consuming food. The reason why we do this randomly So your body can adapt to the lower amount of calories and utilize those calories for the energy production and cognitive function and the action that you take throughout the course of the day, which in turn, when you have more high fat days and less low carb days, means that when you do give your body those carbohydrates, it's going to utilize them as that preferred energy source, which I spoke about in the beginning, allowing your body to burn fat more regularly throughout the course of your nutrition protocol and training that you go through. At first, you might think this is not a lot of food. You might think that this is very foreign, and it very well may be. However, what I want you to understand is the body is excellent at adaptation. And since it is excellent at adaptation, you're going to be able to see the benefits happen sooner than later, especially if you hadn't done this before. That's what happened when I went into this. This was new. I was very much so a high carb only person, but taking away those carbohydrates, I allowed my body to see a shift in what the nutrition was, and it utilized those fats as energy. It took those carbohydrates and it used them immediately for training and or recovery. And that is why I was able to see fat loss and weight loss while maintaining my performance over the last nearly 12 weeks. So a lot of numbers, a lot of science, but I wanted to break this down for you so you truly understand that fats are not bad, carbs are not bad, but eating them in the right amounts based on your calorie burn is going to give you hope and to take action to see results over a period of time. I hope you enjoyed this today. It was a little bit different. We'll be back with our Progress Over Time series soon. If you have any questions, you can always DM me or email me or comment below and I will get back to you, but I wanted to break this down for you as simple as possible. Have an amazing day, and I'll talk with you.